right, welcome to GitLab Workshop 1. Whitney, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited about this class that we have. And the reason why is because I feel like a lot of the time when we're doing training and onboarding, it's more like listen to this video, listen to this guy talk, listen to this more stuff, read this stuff. But this class is a little bit different. What we are actually doing here today is that we are going to use GitLab ourselves. So you are going to be using GitLab to update a website.
Okay.
And that's not something where it's like, hey, you need to know a lot of different technical stuff. I just went through this with Brady and we didn't run into any snags at all. So um, once again, the goal of this session is to become more confident in discussing GitLab by seeing it in action. A lot of times it's just sort of like we sort of know about this stuff, but then once we actually do it for ourselves, then we can more authentically articulate, yeah, it's really easy. Like I've done it myself. It took me 5 minutes to do this and to be able to speak from a place of authenticity. So that's our goal for today. So the agenda for how we're going to do this is we're going to do a brief demo of GitLab, talk about how our customers use GitLab, and then the main part of today's session is to do the workshop itself, and that'll take maybe around 20 minutes. So how does that sound to you?
Sorry, I had to unmute. That sounds great. I'm
Okay,
excited.
awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, okay, so let's talk real briefly about our customers. Really, when we're talking about GitLab, there's really 5 things that our customers are using GitLab for. So one of that is workflow management. We have this really complicated project. We're planning to do some really complicated thing that has to do with 400 different people, right? So having some sort of process management tool to break that down and make sense of it all, that's what we're talking about here. Another thing that our customers do is they use GitLab as an interactive coding platform, so they can code on the internet. And as we talked about before, it's not good enough for people to just code stuff. We need to have some way in which people can review each other's work. The reason why is because we're an open source project. If we just accepted changes from anyone, then someone could come in and destroy the entire project. So there needs to be some sort of peer review process. And then so we give that to people as well. Lastly, it's all about automation, right? So automated quality checks, automated deploys, you combine these two together, and now we've saved time, money, energy, and this is how we allow organizations to become more efficient. So yeah, and then let's actually do a demo of this real quick, and feel free to chime in here. And if there's anything else that you want to see more, then just let me know. But I'm just gonna go through this real quick. So this is GitLab source code. Ultimately, we are a tool for storing code. So just like how you can have a folder in Google Drive and you put like Word docs and Excel spreadsheets, GitLab is basically a repository in which we can keep track of all of your code. So over here, we have many different files. I can take a look at this particular file over here. It's got a bunch of text on here. GitLab is the tool that stores all of this code. Another thing that we do is we give you that history that's really important. So a lot of times when you're an engineer, you're trying to find out, hey, the website was working great and then it broke sometime 3 days ago. Well, let me go back in the history and see, were there any changes made 3 days ago? Oh, there were. Let's go see what they were. This actually corresponds with exactly what the customer is seeing. So maybe we need to go, that's like the smoking gun, right? So over here, I just took a look at one file. Here's all of the people that made changes to this file. If I scroll in, I can see what exactly the change was. They took out all of these, removed these red lines, added in the green line. That's basically what we're talking about here. So storing the code. The other thing is workflow management. So we do this in terms of what we call issues. And let's just do, let's just actually take a look at this view right here. So here's all the individual items for our engineers to take a look at. It could be something small like, hey, go make some graph or chart, go make this front page a little bit nicer. And then so what inevitably happens is that someone creates all of the issues, and then this is basically like go update our website, go change this, and then once all of these issues are done, our project is done. Um, so when I was an engineer, at the start of a new project, I would get assigned maybe 20 issues, and if I got done with them on time, that's when I was a happy engineer. If I didn't get them done on time, then that's when I was really stressed out and I was working on Saturdays. So basically, fulfilling and resolving all these issues is basically what engineers do. The next thing that they do is they need to go and have you put, did you use the interactive web editor for when you were onboarding and making a change to the handbook page?
Yeah, for the Teams page, yeah, I use the web IDE.
Yeah, okay. So this is just a review for you, but you can use GitLab to edit code, which you're not going to do. Did you find it easy to use?
Yeah, I did find it easy to use. It was super easy, super straightforward. It was awesome.
Okay, awesome. So anyone can go make changes. The next thing that's important is their peer review process. Once again, we need to have some sort of gate for people to review code. So here is what we call a merge request. What a merge request is that it is a request to change the code, right? Because we don't accept it from everyone. It has to get approved by someone. So some developer named Frederick came in, made a big change. You can see all the changes here, or adding in these green lines, removing the red text. And then you can see that people have the right to challenge Frederick. So people can make different comments. People can say, hey, have you thought about doing it this other way? Have you thought about like maybe streamlining it? Like, would you mind prefixing this, right? So that's part of the process of making sure that the changes that we do have is as high quality as possible. Just like if we were writing a book, then you have an editor. When you're writing a code base, the other developers have the right to challenge and to proofread your change requests. So that's almost the end of the tour of GitLab. The only other thing I want to talk about is all the automation that happens. This saves our engineers hundreds of hours of time and energy. And so all of this stuff over here is something that might take someone 20 minutes to do. Some of these things might take someone 100 hours to do. But when you combine all of this stuff happening in a completely automated fashion, this is going to greatly increase the speed in which our development teams can work. So what are some of the things that are in the test section?
I saw SAST,
Great.
Node.js. I'm just pointing out things I recognize. I'm just dependency scanning, it looks like.
Yeah,
Downtime checking, code quality reviews.
yeah, exactly. And basically what we're talking about here is making sure that our code still works and that it's secure. That's all. All right, awesome. Can I help clarify anything, or else we're gonna jump right into the interactive demo?
Oh, no, we're good to go.
Okay, sounds good. um, I think that there's one more. Nope. Yeah, okay. So what we are gonna do is, I'll come back to this slide later, is we're gonna pretend like we're a development team. So you and I are a development team, and we're gonna update a website using GitLab. So the specific things that we're going to do is we're going to create an issue. I'm going to assign you an issue. You're going to assign me an issue. After that, we're going to update the code. And then what we're going to do is we're going to review each other's code and ultimately to redeploy our website using GitLab. So let me show you the website real quick. This is the project. And if I go over here, SimFarm, GitLab, Docusaurus, then this is actually the website that I created for this. So
Oh, that's
it's,
cool.
yep, it's a simple website for children's stories. If I go to this blog section, then you can see that Brady made this mystery story. I wrote a story about hiking. and we're gonna write our very own story.
Awesome.
So how do you, what do you think?
I'm ready to go. I'm excited.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna give you a link to this real quick.
Okay.
And the link is going to be here. Go to gitlab.com/simfarm/docusource. And then after that, let me know when you are done.
Okay. Okay. I've got it up.
Okay. And then the first thing that I want you to do is if you take a look at this purple arrow, click on request access because I need to give you permissions to be able to edit this project.
Okay, I just sent it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go give you access right now. All right, awesome. Cool. Well, you are now a proud member of our repository. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we are developers on this team, right? And in this story, basically marketing is saying, hey, we want to have more stories in our website. So we need to now code out these new stories. If we take a look at some of the stories that we have over here, what you want to do is click on the issues and then the list button.
Okay.
Let me know when you're there.
Yep, I'm there.
And then click the new issue button.
Okay.
So I'm going to assign you an issue.
Okay.
And then I'm going to write product marketing says that children's stories about vegetables are in. This ticket is to create a new story about children eating their vegetables and how it's good for them. Okay, so this is the description because we got to say what this is about. For the title, I'm going to say write new story about children about vegetables, vegetable eating. And then the last thing is I'm going to assign this to you. So 3 things: title, give me a description, and then assign it to me. So that's what I'm going to do for you. You can now create something for me, like whatever you want.
Okay. Right, new story about how monsters think under the bed is no longer a viable option. Are now choosing closets.
Did you watch Monsters, Inc. recently?
I didn't, but that's exactly the plot, isn't it? All right, well, we're going to go with that.
All right, sounds good. When you're ready, hit submit issue.
Okay. Okay, assignees. Okay, submit issue. All right, I just did it.
Okay, let's take a look at what you assigned me. Write a new story about how monsters think under the bed is no longer a good option. Nice semicolon use. You can tell that that's advanced. All right, cool. So I have my issue assigned. You have your issue assigned. So now what we're going to do is, now that we know what to write about, let's go fulfill this issue, right? We're developers and we get paid for solving these issues. So let's solve them.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the project. And what you want to do over here is to click on the Web ID button.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done with that.
Okay, yep, I'm in.
Okay, now click on .website.
Okay.
Then click on blog.
Okay.
And then if you click on this drop down arrow right here, then you can do new file.
Okay.
All All right, so now you have to name this. It's going to
Okay.
be the date. So 2021-01. Oh, actually, it's February 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to name this monsters in closet.md. So there's a specific format that you have to do for this.
Okay.
It's going to be year hyphen month hyphen day, and
Mm-hmm.
then title of your thing in hyphens .md.
Okay. Okay. And then just create file.
Create file. And then now I'm going to need to give you something to copy and paste here. I'm going to give it
Okay.
to you by Slack. So hold with me for a sec.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to copy and paste this in.
Okay.
So I'm going to Slack this to you. And what we want to do is so we're going to update these two. Let me know when you've copied and pasted in on the top like lines like this.
Okay. Yep. I got it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to switch out title and author. So author is going to be Whitney. I'm going to put myself for author. And then now title is whatever you want your title to be.
Okay.
All right, so that's awesome. When you're
Okay.
done with that, start your story down here and let me know when you're done. So I'm just going to go start writing something.
Okay. Oh, is this supposed to be like a fictional? I guess it doesn't matter, but I guess it doesn't matter what I write. Okay, never mind.
It can be literally whatever you want.
Okay. Okay. I'm done.
All right, awesome. So before we hit save, just quick check. We should have this copied and pasted. The only two fields that should be updated are these two. The
Okay.
bottom two are fine.
Okay.
And after that, we have our story.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so that all checks out?
Yep.
All right, great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we have to save this. And the way to do it is we do this thing called a commit. What a commit
Okay.
is basically just saving our stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit the blue commit button, and we need to have what we call a commit message. So
Okay.
once again, it's just sort of like if there are 100 people hitting save because our project is a global project and we have 1,000 people working on it, it's important for us to understand this change was because of X, Y, and Z reason, right? So I'm going to write something like fulfilling request from product marketing, write story about monsters.
Okay.
Keep create a new branch highlighted and
Okay.
then start a new merge request and then hit commit. Let me know when you're done.
Okay. Just did it.
All right, awesome. So now we are creating a request to change the code. right? So
Mhm.
this is a request, and someone else has to edit it. So that's why you need to have a title, a description, and then you need to assign it to someone. So I'm going to assign this to you because you're my colleague. And for my description, I'm going to say, this fulfills request from product marketing about creating a story about monsters. Title is going to be something like fulfill add story about monsters. So only three fields you need to add: title, description, and then an assignee.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna hit submit merge request. Let me know when you have created one too.
Okay, just did.
All right, awesome. Right, story about vegetables. So now I'm reviewing your merge request. And so if I were a developer in this situation, what I'm going to do is I want to see what the changes are, right?
Mhm.
Vegetables are awesome by Whitney Hurston. Hey kids, have you heard of broccoli? How about cauliflower? Bell peppers ringing a bell? Kids, let me tell you, vegetables are awesome. They are totally dope, and all the kids these days are really loving showing off their new vegetable eating skills to all the other fifth graders on TikTok. If you want to go viral, you should definitely have your mom roast up some rad radishes, some bomb Brussels sprouts, and some killer carrots. That was good. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's awesome. If I were reviewing this, I would say something like, oh wait, um, say something like, wait, loved the rad radishes. And what I want to do now is I have to approve it, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm going to merge this. So why don't you go, if you like my story, then why don't
Okay.
you do something similar to this merge request, this the add story about monsters.
Okay. So I'm gonna look at your changes. There were once many monsters under the bed, and the children of the house gave them names. As the children grew older, they grew wiser and realized that the monsters had needs too. The children made friends with the monsters and eventually sent the monsters to college. These monsters went to Monsters University. The end. This is good. Monsters in Closet, Christopher Wang. All right, good to go. So then what I'm going to do is add a comment. Why won't it pull up your thing? Here we go. Oh, CS Wang. That's why. Okay. Comment, approve, merge. Okay.
Very awesome. So notice we didn't do any crazy technical stuff. We're just using the UI to click everything.
Mm-hmm.
And notice now what GitLab does completely automatically without us doing anything. If I go to this pipeline section, there's two pipelines that are running. And then let's take a look at what's happening automatically. So if I go to this pages thing, it's doing this technical stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what this is doing right now is it's actually updating our website completely for us. So it's saving us a ton of time. Um, so yeah, this is the beauty of GitLab, is all this automation that we have included in it. So it's still thinking, doing some stuff, downloading some stuff, updating our website. Let me refresh the screen. And then it says job succeeded. Great. All right, so it's done. So
Cool.
now check it out. If I go back to my website, Mathinox Corner for Children,
Mm-hmm.
if I go to the blog section, then we now have our two stories. Monsters in
Cool.
Closet and Vegetables are awesome. So all that is to say is that GitLab was regularly you need to have maybe 5 different tools that do this, but
Mm-hmm.
we just did everything in GitLab, and automation really did a huge chunk of the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making it super easy for us. Like it was really that simple to just update our website.
Awesome.
Cool. So now let's talk about a little bit about like who does what, right? So the people who determine all the issues that are created, these are people called product managers, and they're in charge of saying like, you know what, I think our product would be better if it could do this and this. So then all of that stuff that the product manager deems should be in the next version of our product, that's what the engineers start working on, right? So he creates all the issues. The engineering manager then comes in and says, I have 5 people on my team. I know that Whitney's really been trying to get into Kubernetes. I have this one Kubernetes issue, so I'm going to give it to Whitney, right? We're a little bit understaffed right now, and I know that Sarah is really good at user interface issues, so I'm going to give all the user interface issues to Sarah. So first, a product manager determines all of the work, creates all these issues for all the work. The engineering manager that knows the team the best assigns who does what. Then the developers, which was us in this example, they completed all of the issues, they created merge requests. Then we also reviewed the merge requests. And then really the next two sort of depends on the organization, but the 2 people that are really in charge of making sure that everything's up and running is operations and site reliability engineers. If you ever see someone with the title site reliability engineer, think Netflix, right? Or think Amazon. If that website ever went down for a minute or for 5 minutes, then they lose a lot of money, right? So site reliability engineers are making sure that their website's really reliable and it's fast. Um, and then obviously security verifies that platforms are secure. What do you think about updating a website using GitLab? What are some of your impressions?
As far as just the very basic stuff, yeah, it seemed pretty straightforward. Um, it seemed like, at least for my purposes doing that, I didn't really need to know about like the rest of because I'm looking at the sidebar here and there's like CI/CD pipelines, editor, jobs, schedules, test cases, security and compliance, all like this huge long list. For something
Yeah,
very basic, it doesn't seem like I need to know the ins and outs. Of course, it's important to know those as well, but for the purposes of our exercise, it was really straightforward.
yeah. And the beauty of having a good technology solution is that it should be simple. If we can
Right.
make something that's really, really complicated simple, then that's when we actually add value to our customers. There's a lot of tools out there that it's like it can do a lot, but it takes 4 to 6 months to get up and running if you
Mm-hmm.
have 2 people working on it all the time. So it's just like too complicated. Um, yeah, so I love that idea. Um, yeah, so let's just what's the take home point? It's exactly like you just said, right? What we just did, most businesses have between 5 to 10 different tools to do all of that. So they'll have one tool for SCM, they'll have one tool for um, they'll probably for maybe like for tickets, they'll have one tool for CI, maybe another tool for CD, and then you have to integrate everything together. The great thing with GitLab is that as opposed to having to buy 6 things, evaluate 6 things, set up 6 things, and then integrate 6 things together, if you just get GitLab, all of a sudden you just save a lot of time. In a lot of cases, you've also saved some money too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're really unique in the fact that we do this. There are other businesses that are trying to do this, but they're really playing catch up. Right now, we are the best all in one solution in the market. And ultimately, what that allows people to do is to make engineering more efficient. How do we do that? One, by automating manual tasks. Two, by having better cross team collaboration. So just imagine a scenario where one developer team was on GitHub, another developer team was on Jenkins, another developer team was in charge of something else. That just creates a lot of opportunities for miscommunication. But if everyone's on GitLab, then everyone can communicate on GitLab. And then the last thing is if you have one solution as opposed to maybe 5, 10, then you're probably at that point saving in license costs as well. So this is why we're unique, and this is how we drive value for our customers. All right, awesome. That's today's class. Thanks for attending. And I can stick around to help clarify anything, but otherwise, thank you for attending today's session.
Thank you. No, I think I've got everything cleared up. Like I said, it was super straightforward. But yeah, thank you for hosting it. It was good to have like a walkthrough finally, rather than having to figure it out like with the team space.
Okay, take care,
Yep.
Whitney.
All
Thank you.
right. Thanks. Bye.